the most opportunities, the most spots, and he qualified first try. He's actually even East still with his partner symmetrical this week, so Pika taking a little bit of a note from that.
Yeah, absolutely. At the moment, though, this is not the first chance. This is the last chance. It's week 10, so everyone's pulling out all the tricks from the bag. No secrets here. We'll see if we get anything equivalent of an Olaf boost. We'll see if there's any secret stats happening as that door edit comes through. People now have adapted to that, though. They know that someone's coming through that door. Assault taking all his shield off when he gets onto this rotation. Only 2 minis available. We'll see if Innocence has any heals as well to supplement his duo as he gets booped a little bit. A little bit of interruption there on his minis. He does have shadows available. Once again, 1 player on shadows, 1 player on the balls, and in perfect position as well as he can beam Hydra from the zone line. A nice dynamic switch onto the floor from the wall once he realized that someone was already pressuring that wall. This is just those micro decisions these players make at the last second of these shots to get that elimination when they move across the map as well. They're going to be on rotation now. We'll see when they box up and go back.
Assault getting beamed from the back, not realizing there's a player who's going to immediately realize that he's there. The guys talk about it, we said, pulling out all the stops. Assault and Innocence right here, they're sticking to the tried and true. The 1 baller strat, we've seen them do this, even dual baller all the way through from the beginning, but they just got ripped in. That baller is gone now and they have to dive. No, Innocence is still down there, actually. I misspoke. There's so many players in the sky right now, but still. So I think he still has that baller. I think he could still last a lot, but look at his HP right now, not working out just yet. Where did Assault go? Did he land nearby?
He landed on the mid-ground there, Bala, and he got right to work as Branchies, who is also on East right now, playing it up, gets a big knock down from Assault. He, as soon as he landed, even though he was split, went straight to work, started bullying Davon, who also landed with Fernando on that mid-ground, and he has this insurance, once again getting tagged up, people just predicting everything these players are doing when it comes to smokes. There's no safety available. Everyone's on their best behavior. They know all the stops they can pull to get this pressure down. Assault's now getting dynamic with it. Might not move the same way to get that shadow off. It might affect him on the amount of distance he can move, but he still has Matt's 500 wood left, actually, which might prove fatal near the end of the game as that wood can get shredded through, just like cheese in a grater. We'll see if he can keep it yummy, though. Assault on 41 HP, needs some more food, needs some more eliminations to get that siphon off and get him back up to 100. Sees that storm line sight line as Word Bro gets .exed out of the game. He's off now. 28 builds left for Assault. He doesn't get to pick up those mats. Owen and Threats owning probably the best mid-ground tarp they can have right now, but they're getting stinked off of it as there's so many people fighting for these high mid-ground layer tarps as well.
Staying on board with Assault, just great shots as he immediately realized that player was going to make an edit on him, getting the double combat shotgun shot through. And I think he wants to go for the mats, but maybe a little bit risky. Does find a med kit. Is he going to find the time to pop it? Is this the final zone? I don't think he's going to be able to do that unless he really goes for the full heal off right here. Now, down on low ground, there's still so many people left alive, Shiloh. I mean, there are 11 players total, 7 duos still remaining in this game, and it's final zone. It is time. 1 minute left in the game.
People are going to be playing super, super smart. The placements have not even gone out yet. All the points there. Still duels to get knocked down. 8 W keys get sent back to the jungle. No opportunity there for him to get any placements, unfortunately. 1 duo still needs to go down. Assault looking very healthy on HP and shield right now. Has a little bit more time to move through the storm. That storm taking 10 damage a second gives him about 8 to 9 seconds to move throughout without an elimination. Speaking of eliminations, Intangible goes down as Assault is now just freaking on everyone. Another shot coming in. Threats is getting eliminated. Can he keep it going? Assault has that low ground layer. It's very dangerous for the surprise factor. Davon getting that shot off, but it's not over yet. Creo and Nolan in a 1v1. Both their duos have gone down. Creo, what a play! Superman launchpad on the height. Still has mats to answer with it as well. Starts taking the ticks of health first, but resets those ticks as Nolan has fallen under less HP. Creo with the high IQ launchpad and safety switch to stay in the storm and clinch out that game. Huge place there. 3 eliminations. The victory royale. Creo, you can't do it better than you can't.
Creo just pulled off one of the most insane clutch launch pads I have ever seen, knowing exactly that Dusty Divot has these, you know, kind of elevation changes. It goes up and then it goes down drastically. He knows there's builds up there. I can get up there and I can out heal or outlast you as you have to make your way through all of that old fossil. Perfect play there from Creo.
and that's why he's qualified in solos, right? So he's trying to do it now, trying to get double qualified and bring his teammate KiwiFace along with him.
We talk about qualified duos and solos. Sap and Zayt now, who also qualified for duos, going to be looking at getting some more money and placement as well as they keep playing for these top spots for respect and practice as well. Slurp sticking on Sap. He does have a few more. They pick up an elimination. A lot of loot to work with now. Looks like they have excess mats as well. They're in zone. They could big up their base if they wanted to, make it a little bit bigger for more sightlines, or they could stay cool, calm, collected. One cool thing I see from low ground usually is if you stay a little bit more low key and then look for surprise shots where people don't expect it, that's where you can get those big picks. On height, it's always dope to, you know, edit your walls, see if there's any advantage points, but with low ground, you usually have 1 or 2 angles, and you can get those pop-out moments there.
So Saf and Zayt, I've seen a little bit of on Zayt's Twitter about his strategies going into New York, you know, talking about how he's trying to control his drop spot being Loot Lake. That's going to be one of the most interesting storylines in New York, being the fact that they claim Loot Lake to themselves, but we know how many duos are already dropping there. We know how many duos are already qualified in New York. So Zayt talking about...
No, porca merda. No, sbagliato. Dai, Dio, sbagliato. No, si è bloccato.
We might be taking this spot, that spot. The biggest theme for Worlds is going to be clashing of all these storylines. Everyone plays in their region. They know the rules, but it always gets flipped. As Juxta gets flipped as well in the Storm, he goes down. Easy Elam points picked up from Sap and Zayt.
I do want to shout out real quick somebody who's been doing a lot of research on those clashes going into New York in solos. He put together all the drops. That's Arcane on Twitter. Absolutely amazing work. He just does that week in, week out, and now we really can look at a map and say, okay, we're gonna see this, we're gonna see that, and I can't wait for it. But you know what else I can't wait for? It's Fuzzy and Hogman. This is one of the teams that has had those, you know, heartbreaking weeks, those heartbreaking moments, but also very positive, triumphant, because every week they're up there as Hogman picks up wins. Every single week they are getting so close. And we saw them up on the leaderboard before, right around probably possibly this game is fresh for us, not even realizing any of the points here. Hogman, you are crazy. He just went all the way up on high ground with the baller, and Fuzzy's doing the same too, but staggered because now, no, just barely. I thought he was going to take full high ground while Hogman fights from below. But what a crazy play there. They're all of a sudden in a really good position.
They talk about the use of ballers in competitive, but no one does it better, I think, than Hogman and Fuzzy. Hogman was the king of ballers coming in from solo. He's kind of given that knowledge to Fuzzy as well. The amount of time they can keep these ballers alive near the end of the circle. A rift coming out now, seeing they can once again reposition. Looks like their game plan is always zone 6 and 7. Fight for that height. Use your mats then. So if the balls don't work, we'll see if the rift to go can work. And it does almost, as Hogman gets that slow deploy, but pops off that Sean Claude from the back. We'll see if he can build up another shot coming in. The Sidewinder combat shotgun. We'll see if he can wall replace here. His enemy goes down lower towards the ground. Sean gets that Elim, or Hogman gets the Elim confirmed on Sean. Multi-layered high ground available as well for this duo.
Yeah, and I'm curious, okay, they are going to use the launch pad to get right back down. Actually, Fuzzy's going to go ahead and drop all the way down. He does have that glider redeploy, but one thing I'm noticing in their inventory, they have the chug spot. We saw the play earlier from Famhood. So that is a possibility here in this game, but there's still so much to play, Shio.
The Chug Splash is one thing you can always bait and switch with. We saw that high ground PG fight about to happen, but instantaneously that heal off came in. We'll see what these duels can do with the utility they have. Brispy going for a nice utility play as his trap gives him some fruition, but he can't capitalize on getting those mats, ammo, or weapon upgrades because these guys have to move for the Storm. Sometimes you can get those high priority elims down, but you won't be able to get everything out of them except for just the points. It might make it so that you fall behind on tempo for the rest of the game, moving on positions.
Speaking of tempo, I love how Sherry here is not, you know, full topping all the way through, but what he is doing is placing a floor and a cone on the bottom layer and making sure that if anybody's going to go below, I can make that edit. I can open up on you.
A lot of personalized styles from a lot of people. Palbro going down. We'll see Cherry actually moving behind his builds as his duo stays up. This is huge. 6 duos left alive now. 1 more placement point left. We'll see who's allowed to play and who is not going to get any placement points from this point onward. Fuzzy in a dirty situation, but Hogman cleans it up. Very nice stuff there as they get that Elim down. big points available as well for these duels if they can keep getting these elims over and over again.
And I love how they collapsed directly on that player. As soon as they got both the cone and the floor, that player started full sending on them. They both came down and made sure that they would handle this, but making sure that they're also getting that victory royale. They're slowing down, splitting the materials, knowing exactly where that LX duo is going to be, but Fuzzy goes down. It's now all up to Hogman, maybe opening a little bit preemptively there, but it's still top 3 situation. They've earned all the placement points. Hogman's gonna get revenge onto Cherry. There's still one more down below, but he has no match. Just fine. The siphon match right there, that's gonna allow him to stay up just a little bit longer. Using the chug splash, not yet using that slurp, but he sees an opportunity, does get a couple shots. Now it's a 1v1 down on low ground. Hogman can take his time or go full send, get the elimination. Yes, onto Brispy, and then finally onto Lotus. Hogman and Fuzzy take the victory royale with 20 points.
Options, options, options. Hogman just using the proper shots, using the proper heals. Zeke, what do you think about all this, man? How is this stuff getting so insane and more ramped up over and over again?
Knew for a while now that Hogman's and Fuzzy had it, and right then they just put all the pieces together. A massive 20-point game. Let's go.
Fuzzy Wuzzy doesn't care. Fuzzy Wuzzy will take all your points away and qualify for the World Cup. That should have rhymed. I apologize.
Sundown has long hair. There's the rhyme.
You go.
All right, let's talk about some dope clips that you pulled for us.
Yes, let's take a look at some of the individual efforts that are coming out. I know it's duos week, but right now these guys are putting their partner on their backs. First, you can see Vivid, no mats, no partner, no problem. Picks up the first elim, then immediately gets the knock onto a rough. He gets the bare minimum of mats there, a little bit more, 18, and he's able to convert it into more. Gets the immediate pickaxe and then finds out GG's only Rigor, not enough there. Frags his way into the top 10, and then he's still going. We hopped on board with him. He was at 2 elims, no mats, no partner. Now all of a sudden, 6 elims, 75 mats, has control of the mid-tarp, gets himself into that top 5 situation, almost single-handedly, brilliantly done from the week 1 qualifier. It was a great effort and another great individual effort out of Assault here. Drops down, puts the drum gun at mid-range to work, picking up branches, and then gets the upgrade to that legendary combat, and then he's gonna go to town with it. Finds Wordbro on the quick rotation through, and then doesn't let up, still picking people up inside the top 10 and sticking with it. This is how Innocence and Assault have made their plays. They've done it by fragging out and getting the elims, trying to be the only full controller duo. Shout out to Wolfies being the 2nd controller player to make it so far to the Fortnite World Cup for the duos, and Assault just running down the low ground here. And again, this has been all without Innocence. We hopped on board. He was only on the 2 elims. He was able to get 5, 6 now, and then get himself into the top 5 as well. Just a brilliantly done play. And will the individual efforts be enough? Speaking of an individual effort, Creo with the nuts launchpad up onto the high ground, and then watch how he stays in the storm. We talk about every single interaction mattering, sometimes not even the interaction mattering, every single second, and just having one more second in the zone. He knows when it goes to full close, he's ready to challenge out. Brilliantly done, trying to get Lazarus a duo spot as well as their solo spot. Let's take a look at the standings so far, and it's Slackies and Keys right now in the top spot, 57 points. The young calculator and Macwood just behind them with 56, and then Aroa and Npen currently in 3rd at 55. The spread starting to get there now, 9 points, but again, it is anybody's match. It is anybody's tournament, anybody's day. All of these guys have been so close, and this is really a who's who of NA East for competitive Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really big names here. Again, there's only the 3 spots in NA East, so a lot of these guys are going to look to bring their A game heading into these last few matches. I mean, when you look at even Calculator and Macwood, right, they've got the 7 games played. That's a lot with very little margin of error there, so gotta hope they come up with some really big games. But Fortnite fan, we appreciate, of course, you guys for hanging out with us, sticking around for Fortnite, all the Fortnite action. But for now, we're gonna go to break. I know. Just get up, go get yourself a snack, use the restroom, come back. We'll have more Fortnite action. Don't go too far.
Let's slide out to the lobby. Let's slide out to the lobby.
4 minuti alla prossima partita. posso fare? Oh, vabbè, già aperto. Minchia, sei tu, sei Aleking. Che sto facendo? Sto prendendo tutto. Oh, non scabellare. Che me ne sto facendo qua? No, basta. Fai di ste? No. Oh, perché mi prende l'altra modifica? Oh. Sì, ma infatti Harper non riesco a capire perché non riesco nemmeno a editare bene. In teoria dovrebbe essere riniziata la Word. Sono passati 4 minuti. Ma che cazzo hanno messo qua?
Send some shots out. Nothing's quite connected yet on now, but I think it's fun that we're all hanging out with our little slidey feats.
I really dislike. So I actually like box fights more when I have ice on my feet, because for some reason I've actually, like, I went back and looked, I win a higher percentage of them. I don't know if it's just because the chaos or it throws my opponents off more, but in terms of rotating and all that, just absolutely dislike it. But Aroa and Npen getting pushed on by Destroy and his partner, Destroy, will end up being converted over, but he's trying to disengage over. He knows Destroy is going to end up being picked up, is going for the revive on Npen right now as RJX pushes in, trying to get over towards his partner, but not to be able to do it. As Frost and Devious keep putting pressure on him, Baldi-sama is directly above them as well. No shotgun inside Zeke.
That's probably why he's not taking this fight. He could easily get in that box, but I mean, if you're gonna put an infantry rifle to work in that close range, you're probably not gonna hit the shots, especially with a slow, with a shallow magazine there. You probably just don't want to be taking those fights.
Well, it's so close range, it's not horrible, right? 44 to the chest, and then you have the 88 afterward. Oh my God! He uses it, he pushes it in the box, and he finds it, the back-to-back headshots. Dini gets sent down right away, and now Baldi knows he has that wall. He's trying to find the shot. Can he find it? No, instead gets whipped up into the sky. He's like, all right, I'll take a free rotation. Would have liked the shotgun, but a rotation will be nice, as you can now check out the backside of the storm. Ricardini, Assassin, FA Mark, Dodo Crunchy, and Orbi all trying to make it over to that launch pad. Diego and Aiden just rotating on the low ground. The SH boys trying to find some room. No utility, insight, and hurting on Matt so far.
So you know what I've discovered is that I guess these players can just somehow hear me. So every time I say something that doesn't seem plausible, they just say, Zeke, hold my slurp juice. Watch this. So that's why I basically said that. I was like, there's no way. And, you know, I was wrong. Niddle there picked up, though, and of course is going to be confirmed there, because that's going to keep Aiden alive. That extra siphon going to make the difference.
And then the storm actually moving back over across from him when he's in kind of a tough position from the metal. Will now have to rotate away, but isn't going to be forced out. And with just above 70 effective HP, that's going to be huge. Got to chuck out the stinks to try and get whatever ticks he can. Those players are all super low, and he drops down. He gets Cameron in JG. Can he find the other player? Casker gets ticked over as well. That's one, that's two. He gets the knock there. He needs to find the conversion. Can he find the siphon? He did. 49. He needs to find the zone, though. 1, 2, 3. You can't miss the power point. Oh! Siphon again. That was his knock, which means he gets into the zone. 19 HP. And Jezel TTV takes it down. Give him a follow there, as Som and Symmetrical are the only ones up on the high ground. The rest of the lobby is going to have to go up against Old Man Mountain as Aspect begins his climb. So does Exus. Tendons and Nolan's directly behind him as we're closing in on the top 10. Z-Laner picks up Funded, and Nolan actually gets a knock onto Som, which I'm assuming is from knocking out the high ground, so I'm not sure anybody's up there yet. High ground is now gone. Aspect and Animal own it.
12 players, 8 duos, top 5 is the next threshold. You've got a player down below using that campfire, trying to keep themselves alive right now in Aspect. And you know, his dual partner Animal, like you said, they've got the high ground advantage. This is huge. It depends on where we're going, but look at Animal's HP. Bottom left right now, critical condition. Laner there is going to be picked up, and on 106 over on the dome of that player. Aspect only gets traded out for 38.
He wants to go aggro on him. He knows where that player is, knows he's on the backside. He's looking to find it. How deep did he disengage down? Can I go find it as Symmetrical? Picks up Bambi for Pyronic, and we're going to have our top 5. So now it's Stony and Crunchy on the low ground. Tendons and Forwards on the tarp beneath. Aspect and Animal on ultimate high. Tendons and Nolan are in your bottom right-hand corner. Aspect and Animal in the top right. You can see all the rest of the action on the left-hand side as Stoney does end up actually forcing down Nolan. Tendons goes to try and challenge, is able to find it, and then Stoney gets knocked as well. But the high ground's going to be the difference as Tendons is doing everything he can to remain in the zone, and he found it, 10 HP, but it's not going to matter. Aspect picks it up. That's the 4 elims plus the victory route. 14 points going over, pushing them up to 53. That's why they were up there on the leaderboard. The favorites coming in after all the warm-ups kind of fell off, but Aspect has been rolling, and they're trying to make it again. This is week 10. Oceania is done. Asia is done. Europe is done. And
Está chissà cosa si blocca così.
Your Ghost Bizzle, who's already qualified, you're thinking, I've got to try and get my dual partner there. Demo, we've got to make it there. And you know, they've come close. They haven't put it together yet, but...
I think they came probably about as close as any other guys. I've told the story a couple times.
Yeah, you have.
In, I think it was week 4 or week 6. No, it was week 6. There was one Shadow Bomb rotation when they were in 16th place, where they popped the window and 2 guys were staring at them, just waiting for the door to come out, and they both got lasered, and a half second later, somebody else went down. So that would have been the points. That would have been enough to push them over the top. And that's when we talk about every little moment mattering, every decision sometimes being the difference. That is the prime example. But Virus QT does get picked up, and Bizzle and Demo are going to look to make a case here. Kind of hurting in terms of utility, but positional-wise, not in a bad spot.
Yeah, I mean, ammo is looking pretty sparse, right? Just a mag and a half in the AR. There are a few rounds for the flint knock, a few slugs there for the combat. Not much in the way to work with. Look on the other side, though. Vivid. He is 2 boxes away. Now, 72 is in critical condition. Take a look, and look at this. 5 total builds.
No shields on either of them. Like, they have less than 100 effective HP. They do have a rift, but you don't want to go skyward unless you're going late, and it can guarantee you placements. But you also don't want to be caught out in an awkward rotation here. They can't afford to tarp. You either have to go right away or go super late and just pray nobody looks in your direction, which for somebody, they're sitting on 50 points. Can he find 1, 2, 3, but the 16 isn't going to be enough. They desperately needed it, but now attention is drawn their way. 72 is going over. You see the combat swiveling towards them. It's Lotus directly above, Predator on the backside, and they're going to go late. They're going to go late, and they're going to pop and just hang out and hope nobody looks skyward, because 1 AR bullet will drop 72, 2 will drop Vivid, but right now everyone else is worried about rotating. And there it goes, skyward, and he knows it's white. All of a sudden Vivid goes straight.
Oh my God!
Box, can he find it?
Oh!
Mateos gets dropped. That could be the difference. They have all the mats. They have the mid-tarp. They need to drop down and get more, though. They need the campfire. They need all the resources. You see,
on the right.
Vivid is down. You have to cover your sides. Vivid is down. 72 has to clutch up, but he's taking ticks. He's over in the storm. You can see him there, dead middle of your screen, and he is down outside of the top 15. But look in the bottom left, Ninja in reverse still up. Bizzle and Demo, Artsy and Midas, Sean, Claude in the middle as well. And hello, first SMG, first time I think we've seen that. All cast, Bizzle puts it to work right there.
Every single weapon, every single form of utility, everything in the hands of these players that are playing the top 0.001% will be lethal.
I mean, Bizzle doesn't even need to use a weapon sometimes to be successful. We've seen him, you know what, I'll give him a shout out for the memery, but like, in the end, it's really impressive doing that. You don't expose yourself to risk, but the fact that he's still going out and trying to make plays with the impulses and the turrets, like, that's when you know somebody's on another level for the solos competition. But Cartier Cole and Cartier Chris looking skyward, drops everyone, and he turns back. Cool guys, don't look at explosions. There's 1, 2, tick over right there. Really heads up play.
Unfortunately, they're not going to get the materials and ammo, but still, 2 eliminations, 2 points on the board, and pushes them into top 15. You like to see it. The lobby's going to continue thinning out. Now, keep in mind, top 10 is that next placement threshold. That's where their next aim is. You've got someone up in the sky trying to challenge Germ. I'm so sorry. You have been eliminated.
Hogman goes down, but was inside the top 10, so he got the 5 points. Bizzle and Demo are still up as well on the mid-tarp as shots are raining down from Chris and Cole. They're doing so well. Bizzle and Demo both go down outside the top 5. No more points there for the vaulted duo. And now Janik picks up dimes. We have our top 10 as top 5 as Cherish is inside of it. Reverse and Ninja still on the low ground. Lotus with a great slide around. Reverse with an even more heads-up play. Ninja's in your bottom right. Cartier Cole in your top right. Janik and Stowe on the mid-tarp as we have a 2v2v2. RPGs are coming out. Can they catch it? They catch it right away. Player gets dropped down. Ninja reverse make quick work of him, but then Ninja catches the rocket right on his face. Can he find some time? Watch Ninja in the bottom right. Cartier Cole in your top right now. You can see Reverse trying to get an angle to support him. Cole has got the RPG reloaded, begins to work top down. Ninja continuing to tarp himself out. Did have enough room.
No.
Reverse went to the sky. Are they going to look up while Ninja tries to get them distracted? Now they're looking downward as Ninja is distracted. This is the split from Reverse. Gets blasted out of the sky. Interesting call as Reverse now gets dropped to Ninja. Make the play. Clutches on him. Gets cracked back 17 HP. But now he has the high ground with Shadows. Needs to pop in his if he can get the room. A siphon would be huge. And it's not going to happen. Chris and Cole shut down Reverse and Ninja. 8 elims in the victory royale, pushing them up to 45 points.
Man, that was, you know, I respect the play for sure, but hindsight is 20/20. That's all I'm going to say about that. Next game, here we go. You got E11 Heart there in the center screen, 33 players, 19 duos remain, so we're pushing the very stretches here of the lobbies. You know, more often in finals day, we've seen dense lobbies, upwards of 50 people, upwards of...
Guarda, hai letto il messaggio che ti ha inviato Harper? Che cazzo è successo? Che si blocca? Si blocca. Fammi chiudere questa cazzo di cosa.
Look at this, Blue Bull finding more eliminations as well. Here's the focus. Aiden says, yeah, it's a little bit of a high ground right there. Maybe we want to snatch this up. It is in the zone. He does have material to hold it as well. Nick A30 still in the game. You see down there, Symphony as well. So many players still alive. Tifu's still in this game. He's got a baller. He's jumping in and out that vehicle. Aiden lands right on top of Power and wins the exchange. Down goes Power. It's his high ground now. You can see Lost King lands right inside of this duo and finishes him up. So Aiden is doing so good right now. They have 7 eliminations now. And Rob is doing so good working with Aiden, you know. When we talked with him in the player lab, people are look, I know Aiden. I know Aiden's very good. Whatever he does, he's going to follow, right? And you can see they're playing so well together. Whatever Aiden calls, Rob is ready to follow up on this and back him up. Well, that's Sifu right there. Oh, it's Nick! Another knock. Zeke. That's it. He's gone. He's been eliminated. That duo is out, especially at the top 5, but it's okay. Look how many big names are still left. Bucky, Cage, Rob, Lock King goes down. Aiden. East?
Yeah, he recently switched. He moved from LA to...
Ah, vedi. Minchia, sono pieni di soli, mi stemano in 720p. Siamo seri.
qua dietro, non lo vedi? Sono 2, 3 forse. No, no, è Faitali, Nabbo, sono qua. No, no, Faitali.
E poi
Il mare a 10-20 metri, Dio santo, abiti sulla spiaggia.
se tipo si iscrivono, cioè, esempio, stupido, tu e Bruni J, dici a Bruni, non so neanche quanto male, dici iscrivetevi a Bruni J, no? Loro magari i tuoi iscritti si iscrivono perché gliel'hai detto, te, capito? Però poi magari non, poco gliene frega di quello che fa Bruni J, prima o poi si iscriveranno.
Serve un pompa, boys. Devo fare lo scuola 50 invece a me.
E questa è una mitraglietta blu se la vuoi.
Se sei felicio, non felice. Felicio! Alla Slavi.
Oh, mangi sto
A
funghetto.
bestemmiate agli orali, in terza media. Anche alla prova.
Alperci. Me lo vado un po' sul servo, guarda. Anzi no, non voglio. Non dire cazzate, serio. Minchia, lo faccio. Così va il PC. Che cazzo è? Agli anni di mio nonno quella che cazzo rischia da vita. Boh, sinceramente non mi fiderei io, chissà che cazzo di fa il PC. Fatelo fare. Oh. Non riesco a fare di seguito così. Di là che piazzi di forse devo fare. Ho giocato l'altro giorno, ho fatto un avione. Non mi fate non mi ha sbagliato un cazzo per quello. Se no mi si blocca.
Ora che fare? Così qua più vado in alto più gli fa male. Grattata, pronta a sparare. Devi credere in te stesso, non ti puoi fidare. Yo, baby tu non ci pensare, yeah. Questo posto infame io devo scappare in fretta. Serpa gli angoli, la strada è scura e stretta. Ma ora non mi posso più fermare. Yo, quello che volevo ce l'ho adesso. Manco stamattina torno presto. Ha vinto l'orgoglio e non ci parliamo per questo. Io non mi guardo indietro, chi si guarda indietro è perso. Hey money money, come tutti voglio farli, yeah. Mi ricordo dei treni, dei 1000 pianti. Non mi ricordo quante ne ho scopate, ma mi ricordo bene di noi assieme sulle scale, yeah. Con danni fatti, solo lei sa come farmi, come truccarsi. Ora tutti alla mia porta vogliono entrare, fanculo. E grazie al mio culo se ancora ti ascolta qualcuno. Sopra i muri, muri, vedi buchi, buchi. Fino a Brooklyn, baby, movimenti giusti. Lei si muove giusta, Gucci, Fendi e Woolrich. Fra tutto si aggiusta, fuma ad occhi chiusi. Sono sopra un altro mondo, sono spaziale, faccio gratata, non mi puoi fermare, con te non parlo nemmeno, tanto già sai.
Cazzo che non possiamo mettere.
io so cosa fare. In questo mare di squali impara a nuotare. In testa ho dei pianino che non ti sto
Non se lo
guardare.
faccio.
Se parti villon, lo scrittogno lo so fare, yeah. Tu non sai che fare, yeah. Io so cosa fare. In questo mare di squali impara a nuotare. In testa ho dei pianino che non ti sto guardare. Se parti villon, lo scrittogno lo so fare, yeah. Tu non sai che fare, yeah. Scendo a fumare, yeah. Ci suoni di squadre, yeah. Rapper sono pussi, pensano solo a pubblicare. Non mi dire cosa fare, educazione per le strade. In tasca roba legale, che ormai manco più mi sale. Ne ho prese di coltellate, yeah. Sono in piedi uguale, questi aspettano che cado. Stanno tutti ad aspettare. Non mi dire cosa fare, yeah. Dire come amare, la faccio scorda per strada. Vale, yeah. Mi levo questa da dosso, yeah, yeah. Ti potevo dare il mondo, yeah, yeah. Pure se sto mondo è sporco, yeah, yeah. Questi prima parlano, poi mi chiedono la foto. Parli, parli e me ne foto, cosa fare. In questo mare di squali impara a nuotare. In testa ho dei piani che non ti sto guardare. Se parti di no, lo scrittogno lo so fare, yeah. Tu non sai che fare, yeah. Io so cosa fare. In questo mare di squali impara a nuotare. In testa ho dei piani che non ti sto guardare. Se parti di no, lo scrittogno lo so fare, yeah. Tu non sai che fare, yeah. Cresciuto con me non le stelle. Giro la panna c'è sempre. La casa non dove c'è. Con questi rapper li facciamo fette. Pensate a ascoltare a meglio. Gli impubili vivo da sveglio. Non voglio pensare ai soldi. Ieri basta la famiglia solo quella con cui me le pari. Ma che mai, penso che non so nemmeno pronunciare. Voglio capo tutto quanto. Solo non posso fidare. Io credevo che era amore. L'ho tradito per i soldi. Me ne racconto in protesta. Contro chi qua ci governa. Bye bye bang spari alla testa. Entro ed inizia
Provo a
la
fare un po'
festa.
di solo.
Te ne senti 20, tu ci provi ma non lo sai fare, yeah. Io so bene cosa fare, tu manco che dire da dove iniziare, yeah. Io so cosa fare. In questo mare di squali impara a nuotare. In testa ho dei pianino che non ti sto a guardare. Felpa di villon, lo scrittogno lo so fare, yeah. Tu non sai che fare, yeah. Io so cosa fare. In questo mare di squali impara a nuotare. In testa ho dei pianino che non ti sto a guardare. Felpa di villon, lo scrittogno lo so fare, yeah. Tu non sai che fare, yeah.
Vabbè, mentre adesso mi prendo la scheda qui. Cazzo di no, pubblicità. Dio. Dai.
Fiore api, io, lei, mami, papi, tati tati,
Ah, vedi che là.
sushi, wasabi, abi, voglio più applausi, batti le mani, prima classe, destinazione Abu Dhabi, giovani pazzi, pieni d'oro come pirati.
Ada aja job tablet. Sì, dai, già fa. Lagga troppo, addio. niente bene.
Che mi mette sempre cattivo, tipo. Non ci giocavo da una vita in singolo, tipo 2 mesi, anche di più, di più. No, giusto. No, non sei così stupido. devo provare la nuova stretch. Tipo alle 16:09. Adesso la metto. Perché? Perché non la posso mettere? Vabbè, lo piego il monitor, diventa così. Non c'è seriamente nessuno, ma davvero. Ok. Sì, certo, sicuramente. pompa nuova o no? No, ma cosa? Non è la... No. Dai, io spengo, cioè... Giorgio. Aspetta cosa. Voglio il copyright.
Me magno Cristo con ragù, mannaggia Dio bastardo, vattene a fancu, mannaggia quel porcaccio del porco Dio, le suore son mignotte e battono di notte, con 5 euro te li inculi pure te, te fanno un bel puppino, le ammazzi e vinci te, yeah! Everybody, porco Dio!
Ciao Albert, alla prossima.